Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, man, you guys know the deal on this channel. So about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, we're going to talk about these comments from Gills Arena. These clowns on Gills Arena. And I don't know, I think Gilbert Arenas might have blocked me from tagging him in these videos. I haven't been able to find him to tag him in these videos that I'm doing. So I don't know if he blocked me because I've been laying into him and destroying and trashing these guys, man, with the facts. You know what I'm saying? Expose these clowns like Kenyon Martin and his fool Rashad McCants and his clown swaggy fool, swaggy clown P, whatever the dude's name is. A bunch of idiots, these guys, Nick Young. Bunch of clowns. These guys are contradict themselves left and right. They're hypocrites like a mother. I mean, these guys are never consistent, man. They just talk a bunch of nonsense. They're like a bunch of gossiping girls on this platform. And the host, that stupid clown who's always sitting there with the laptop on his lap with the hat on. Like, dude, you don't know basketball. Like, where is this guy there? Who is that dude? These guys are a bunch of fools, man. And they're talking about how LeBron James is a willing passer. This is what we're doing now because he had 12 assists in the other game last night. You had Kenyon Martin talking about, yeah, LeBron James is a pass-first player. He's a willing passer that can score. We're still doing this, Kenyon Martin? Dude, you're a clown, man. Kenyon Martin says he's going to finish second all-time in assists. This is what Kenyon Martin says. He's going to finish second all-time in assists and number one all-time in scoring. LeBron James the GOAT. This guy's a willing passer, but he's able to score all these points. So, oh, my God. We're going to talk about this video, man. I'm going to give you guys some details here. And then I'm going to expose Kenyon Martin real briefly at the end of this video. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states that's been supporting my channel, man. Once again, you guys know I am truly, truly humbled by all support, guys. Like I said, it means a lot, man, for real. Thank you very much, everybody in the membership, all you guys that continue to support my channel, man. Like I said, man, it means a lot for real. Shout out to my man, Animaniac89. Has been the longest subscriber on my channel, man. Like I said, you guys have been true supporters for a while now, man. Thank you. And you guys know what to do, man. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, these clowns over on Gills Arena, I'm telling you, man, I think these guys blocked me from tagging them. Maybe not. I'm going to try to tag them in this video. I've been telling you guys, I've been trying to get this clown to get me on Gills Arena. Not because I want some cachet or I want some fame or I want some money or I want views. I want to go out there and say what I got to say to these dudes' faces, man. I'm tired of making these videos and these guys out there sitting on that freaking podcast talking nonsense and lying. I told you guys, why it's becoming personal with me now because these guys are freaking liars, man. They are liars. I do not respect liars. I told you, I hate bullies. I hate cheaters. I hate liars, man. And that's what LeBron James is. All three of them do. He's a cheater. He's a liar. He's a bully. And Kenyon Martin, you're a liar, dude. Gilbert Arenas, come on, man. Gilbert Arenas is a certified liar. He's a certified coward. He's a straight clown. He's a dirtbag, Gilbert Arenas. That dude's a big kid that never grew up. Like I told you, man, what a fool out there, Gilbert Arenas. And these clowns on his podcast. So like I said, I saw this clip on Instagram, and this clown's out here talking. They're talking about LeBron James last night or the night before, whatever, when he had those 12 assists. And Kenyon Martin's out here talking about, yeah, LeBron James, he's pass first and scores all his points. He's a willing passer, and he's just able to score like that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't score because he was just chilling. You know what I'm saying? He was out there facilitating, doing the thing. And they're pumping up LeBron James' assist totals. So we're back to this now. We're going back to the assist totals. Kenyon Martin says, LeBron James will finish number 2 all-time in assists. And Gilbert Arenas is sitting there talking about, look at all the years that LeBron James been in the league. He's led his team in assists every year, except for like 1 year, he said. He's like, out of 22 out of 23 years, LeBron James has led his team in assists. Okay, Gilbert Arenas, what point are you trying to make here? All you guys are doing is highlighting the fact that LeBron is a ball-hog. That's all you're doing. And you're highlighting the fact that other great players sacrifice total numbers and these stats for winning, my man. Winning. Larry Bird. Magic Johnson. You think Magic Johnson could have tried to average 25, 30 points a game for his career if he wanted to? He easily could have tried to do this. But it's not his game. That's not what he wanted to do. He wanted to win. So he did whatever it took to win. Magic Johnson was a winner. You think Larry Bird could have tried to go out there and lead the league in scoring every single season if he really wanted to? When LeBron James, they believe, could do that. Oh, if I want to lead the league every year, I can lead the league scoring every year if I want to. So they'll believe LeBron James could do that when we see there's no overall game like that. But Larry Bird couldn't do that? Larry Bird could definitely try to do that if he wanted. Larry Bird was trying to win. So he sacrificed points. He sacrificed total stats, right, for winning games, to win championships. Michael Jordan sacrificed total assist numbers to allow Scottie Pippen to have a role, to allow Ron Harper to have a role, to allow Kukoc to have a role, and Dennis Rodman, right? And Horace Grant, and Bill Cartwright, and Paxson, and B.J. Armstrong, and Randy Brown. Everybody had a role because Michael Jordan sacrificed for them to have that role. These guys are over there thinking that they're pumping up LeBron James and celebrating him. All you're doing is highlighting the fact he's a ball-hog, that he won't let anyone else shine. So Gilbert Arenas says LeBron James led his teams in assists per game all of these seasons except for like 2 seasons. And I started laughing. I was like, wait, so LeBron James never led his team in shooting? I want you guys to go through the Cleveland Cavaliers. Just go through LeBron James' career and look at how many times he shot the ball on his team, field goal attempts, versus his teammates. I believe there's one season, guys, that he did not lead his team in field goal attempts in the regular season. I believe that was 2017, where Kyrie Irving, I think, shot one more than LeBron. I think Kyrie Irving averaged 19 shots a game. LeBron James averaged 18 shots a game. However, in the playoffs that same season, LeBron James shot more than Kyrie Irving in the playoffs. So like we've said, LeBron James is a shot jacker, a shot choker extraordinaire. This man takes bad shots. He takes low IQ shots. He takes shots he has no business taking just because he dominates the basketball. And that's what he does. So he's averaged damn near 20 shots a game for his career, which, like I told you, every year he played except for 1 year in the regular season, he's led his team in field goal attempts. And a lot of these years, most of these seasons, guys, it was by far and away, LeBron James taking 21 shots, his next closest teammate took 12. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James taking 20 shots, the next closest teammate 13. So LeBron James has been taking 7, 8, 9, sometimes 10 more shots than the next player on his team every year, except for I think 1 year that I looked into. But then you want to celebrate LeBron James leading his team in assists every year? So we're not going to give any context and perspective here. We're not going to tell the people out there, Gilbert Arenas or Kenyon, we're not going to tell them that LeBron James has been playing his own offense all these years. They act like LeBron James has been playing in this offense that he has to conform to, and he's still able to manage all these numbers. The man dominates the basketball. He's the only player in history who's been allowed to do this, but it's coming at a price. LeBron James can play his game, right? He can celebrate LeBron James, but he's 4-6 in the finals because of this play style. So this play style is not conducive to winning. That's why last year he was a negative 54 on the basketball court. Don't tell me about his 25-point per game average and his 8 rebounds and his 7 assists nonsense. The dude wasn't doing anything on the court but stacking up stats. Once again, we're not going to talk about how assists are counted over the last 10 years in this era. Kenyon Martin, my man, you're just going to talk about, LeBron James going to be second all time in assists and first in points. So what? What does that mean, though? What has he done? What has that done for him winning games? What has that done for him in the championships? LeBron James, he led both teams in points, rebounds, and assists. But did he win the series? Maybe he should have been leading in rebounds. Maybe he shouldn't be leading in assists. Maybe he shouldn't be leading in shot attempts like that. Maybe he should sacrifice one of these areas for his teammates. I told you guys in the other video, LeBron James for his career, 4.7 3-point attempts per game. All right, for a guy who can't shoot. And LeBron James on his teams over the years has either been number 1 in 3-point attempts, number 2, or top 3, top 5 in 3-point attempts on the team. So LeBron James is doing everything. He's got his hands in everything. And then they blame his teammates when he doesn't win. If LeBron James is doing everything, then the blame has to fall on him, Gilbert Arenas. Kenyon Martin, who else are you going to blame? LeBron James got all the assists. LeBron James got all the points. LeBron James dominates basketball. Who the hell are you blaming then? His teammates ain't do nothing. How is LeBron James getting assists if his teammates aren't making shots? I'm confused by this. They celebrate LeBron James' assists. He don't just get assists when guys don't make shots. That's the one thing we haven't seen. Not yet anyway. But he gets assists when guys make 3, 4, 5 moves and 4 or 5 dribbles. But these guys are making baskets then. So LeBron James has no help. But at the same time, LeBron James gets all the assists. Which one is it, guys? Are we celebrating his teammates or are we not celebrating his teammates? They're obviously making shots if you're getting the assists. Right? You have to make a basket. So these guys are not trash, apparently. They're not bums. They're making baskets at a certain clip. But once again, if we put perspective behind what Kenyon Martin is saying here, and Gilbert Arenas talking about his assists per game, like it's impressive because he led his teams in assists. LeBron James has led the league in assists one time. So all this passing, he's a willing passer. All this passing you guys are saying he's a pass-first player. Then why is he not tops or close to the tops in assists per game for his career? He's like number 33 in assists per game for his career. That's not good. 33rd in assists per game. But you told me he's a pass-first player. Where's Magic Johnson rank on that list? Where's Chris Paul rank on that list? Where does John Stockton rank on that list? Where does Jason Kidd or Steve Nash or some of these other guys that we would consider way more pass-first than LeBron James, where do they rank on those lists? Way higher. Magic Johnson number 1 all time. Is he not? So I don't get this stuff. Now let's go into the numbers real briefly here. Let's think about these numbers now. LeBron James accumulated assists, right? A lot of assists hogging the basketball. But you notice how Kenyon, Martin, Gilbert Arenas, they never mentioned turnovers. I saw this like a 2-minute clip, guys. It actually might have been longer. It might have been like 3 minutes I was into these clowns. Never once did they mention turnovers. Never once. So LeBron James is an all-time leader in turnovers for a while now. And I mean, he's by far the leader in turnovers. The only player with 5,000 plus turnovers. And like I said, they won't talk about his turnovers, but they'll celebrate his assists. Versus the other great assist man. Versus who? I don't understand it. And they want to say LeBron James somehow still dominating the league at this age. You know, Gilbert Arenas about, no matter what you say, your favorite player wasn't as good as LeBron James was at this point in their careers. Yeah, because they played in real NBAs. They played in physical leagues. They didn't load manage for years to try to play this long. They weren't taking chemicals to play this long. They weren't playing in a soft era of NBA, right? They weren't traveling up and down the court all day, every day, load managing and sitting out games. I mean, come on, man, give me a break here, Gilbert Arenas. You're a clown. Talking about your favorite player wasn't. Dude, I'm so tired of Gilbert Arenas. Like I said, the fact that he's still talking basketball is sad. It's sad. Gilbert Arenas go away. Dude, you don't know. You're not doing anything for the game. Because Gilbert doesn't give a damn about the game. The dude's a straight clown. I would love to just come to that platform and just tell them to their faces, dude, you're a clown. You're a joke. No one respects you. Who respects Gilbert Arenas? Who's listening to these guys? Who? So let's go through the numbers real briefly here. LeBron James, 11,596 assists, all right? All right, LeBron James, 5,472 turnovers, though. 5,472 turnovers. 11,596 assists. So if we take away the turnovers, subtract the turnovers from the assists, guys, LeBron James has 6,124 assists. All right? That's crazy, guys. All right, think about it, it's almost a different. So he's almost a 1-for-1. I told you, it's 5,472 turnovers. Without those turnovers, he has 6,124 assists. So you're almost a 1-to-1. This is what we're talking about. You're not a great passer like that. You turn the ball with a high volume, LeBron James. Stumbling and bumbling, can't dribble, like all this stuff, guys. And remember, they don't call him for offensive fouls. They don't call him for travels. Those are turnovers, guys. Those would be counted as turnovers. So I told you, LeBron James probably would have about 6,500 turnovers if they really counted and officiated the right way. So if we really think about that, remember, his assists are inflated. So it's a 1-to-1, guys. For every turnover, every assist. That's basically what it is. All right, so that's where he's at 1,563 games played. The next closest person to LeBron James, I think LeBron James in 4th place. 3rd place is Jason Kidd, 12,091, all right? How many turnovers did Jason Kidd have? All right, he's got 12,091 assists, so 4,003 turnovers. So he has about 500, more assists than LeBron James, but he has almost 1,500 less turnovers than LeBron James. And once again, Jason Kidd played an era that was much more physical. Like I said, where he wasn't getting help from carries and travels like that. They were officiating him for those travels. They were officiating him for charges, right? He was going against sugar defenses, and his assists weren't counted as easily as LeBron James was in the 2000s, in the 2010s like that. So once again, Jason Kidd, way more assists than LeBron James based off of the turnovers that he has, night and day. So if we subtract Jason Kidd's turnovers from his assist total, you're left with 8,088. That's crazy, guys. 8,088. So once again, a 2-to-1 ratio based on the 4,000 turnovers that Jason Kidd has. Insane right there. Not night and day compared to LeBron James. Once again, Jason Kidd was a true pass-first player. Pass first. All right, and I'm going to highlight the pass first in a second. The next person up is Chris Paul, 12,528. All right? And he has, look at, Chris Paul's assist to turnover ratio is insane, guys. Insane. All right? We all know Chris Paul was a pass-first player, right? One of the great point guards over the last 15 seasons, Chris Paul. I'm not a huge Chris Paul fan. I know I've knocked Chris Paul, man, because to me, he's a choker, man. He's been a choker the last 10 years. All right? To me, Chris Paul's first 10 years in the NBA, to me, I told you, Chris Paul, New Orleans, Chris Paul, that dude was insane. Insane. Chris Paul showed flashes in LA on the Clippers. Not saying he didn't, right? With the Lob City stuff. We get all that. But to me, Chris Paul, he's been a great pass first point guard, man. But I just don't think he's as great as people have pumped him up. I've seen people put him at top 5 all time. I don't believe he's top 5. To me, he's in that top 10 area. That's just me personally, but I'm thinking about all-time great point guards. I'm not just talking about over the last 10, 15 years. Because, we mentioned someone like Tony Parker the other day. who's very underrated to me, Tony Parker, man. So we talk about those guys, the Jason Kidd. To me, Chris Paul's not better than Jason Kidd. Then we think about guys like Steve Nash. To me, is Chris Paul better than Steve Nash? I don't know, man. Like I said, these are conversations. We have the other all-time greats that he's not better than. The Magic Johnson, the Steph Currys, the Isaiah Thomases, the Oscar Robertsons, the Bob Cousy's. I don't think he's better than these guys. So we're talking about a laundry list. Walt Clyde Frazier, that's a debate. Gary Payton, I don't believe he's better than Gary Payton. So, guys, it's tough. But anyway, Chris Paul's hit-turn ratio is sensational. So he got 12,528 assists to only 3,100 turnovers, guys. That's insane. 3,100 turnovers on over 12,000 assists? So if you subtract his turnovers from his assists, the man has 9,428. So essentially a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. 3,000 turnovers, 9,000 when you subtract. That's crazy, man. And then, of course, the ultimate John Stockton, who LeBron James will never sniff, 15,806 assists to 4,244 turnovers. I mean, that's insane that the man he's got over 4,000 assists than LeBron. More than 4,000 assists more than LeBron James. But he's over 1,000 less turnovers than LeBron. How is that possible? Because these guys are pass-first players. These guys are legit assist men. They're legit passers, all right? John Stockton, without the assists, we subtract the turnovers, he's left with 11,562. So once again, just like Chris Paul, essentially a 3-to-1 turnover to assist ratio. Insane, guys. Insane. All right, now I didn't even bring up Magic Johnson. I could have brought up Magic Johnson, and you would even highlight even further the assist-to-turnover ratio of some of these great players is night and day. But let's talk about, when I say you guys that LeBron James has played in way more games than these guys. These guys did more in less time. All right, now let's highlight this. Like I just mentioned with John Stockton, LeBron James is 4,210 assists away from John Stockton. 4,210 assists less than John Stockton. Even though John Stockton has played in 60 less games than LeBron James. All right, 60 less games than LeBron James. How the hell does he have 4,000 more assists than LeBron James pass first at Kenyon Martin? Gilbert Arenas, he led his team in assists every year because he's a willing passer. What? No, the man's down in the basketball. He's not a willing passer. All he can do is either shoot or pass. That's it. He down with the basketball. There's no one else accumulating assists. There's no one else getting points. There's no one else doing anything. LeBron James is doing everything out there except for play defense and rebound. That's why his rebounding is mediocre and his defense is mediocre at best. But they want to celebrate his assists, but you want to talk about his turnovers. Turnovers. You don't want to talk about LeBron James' 5,472 turnovers? That's crazy, guys. So let's think about Jason Kidd versus LeBron James. Jason Kidd has played in he has 495 more assists than LeBron James, even though he's played in 172 less games, guys. How the hell is that possible? Because LeBron James not pass first. That's why it's possible, because Jason Kidd was legit pass first. So, Jason Kidd has about 500 more assists than LeBron James, even though he's played in 172 games, guys. So that's equivalent of over 2 seasons worth. Give me a break here. Night and day. Let's go to Chris Paul. LeBron James has has 932 less assists than Chris Paul. So about 1,000 less assists than Chris Paul, right? And they came in the same draft, I believe, right? But he's played in 200 less games than LeBron James. Exactly 200, guys. Chris Paul's played in 1,363. LeBron James is played in 1,563. So 200 less games than LeBron James, but you have almost 1,000 assists more than LeBron James? Come on, guys. It's almost 3 seasons worth of games. Once again, this highlights how these guys are pass first, and LeBron James is shoot first. Shoot first, all right? Pass second, because that's all else I can do. I'm dominating the basketball. I'm going to accumulate all the total stats, but it's not going to help my team win. It's not going to help my team win, these assists, these numbers that I'm putting up. It's going to make me inconsistent like I am, 4-6 in the finals, LeBron James. So as you guys can see here, these guys were true pass-first players. They were true point guards. And like I said, a lot of these guys, Jason Kidd, that I'm talking about here, John Stockton, they weren't allowed in the era they played in to get easy assists like this. And like I said, the turnovers that they were getting were legit turnovers. LeBron James ain't getting called for half the turnovers in the game. That's why he gets no personal fouls. The man played 30 minutes last night, 0 fouls. 0 fouls. How many offensive fouls he had out there? I'm sure he had a lot. How many carries he had? I'm sure he had a lot. How many travels? I'm sure he had a lot, but they won't call for none of this stuff. Now, what I want to also do, and I told you guys, I was going to expose Kenyon Martin here briefly, man. And really, I just want to make a point with Kenyon Martin, man, because Kenyon Martin's getting on my nerves. Because Kenyon Martin's he acts tough, Kenyon Martin. And I get it, man. You know what I'm saying? He was a tough player. That was his demeanor, right? I had to watch him dunk the basketball. He was a ferocious dunker. But it's gone too far now. It's gone too far. We're getting carried away. Kenyon Martin just talks crazy, and it's almost like he thinks just because he wants to talk tough and talk a certain way that you gotta listen to me. I'm Kenyon Martin, you know what I'm saying? And yo, this is how I feel, blah, blah, blah. Dude, you sound crazy. You sound stupid. And, when we're talking about this assist and he's pumping up LeBron James like this, because it's really weird that you'll pump up LeBron James. But how come Kenyon Martin won't ever come clean about himself or talk about the things in his career and what he's done in his career? These guys are there talking, they bicker, and they gossip like a bunch of, schoolgirls. But Kenyon Martin, dude, where were you in your NBA career? What did you do in your NBA career? You know what I'm saying? When it mattered most, where were you? Let's talk about that. You guys talk about LeBron. Why don't we talk about your career? Why don't we talk about Kenyon Martin's career? Let's talk about Swaggy P's career. Let's talk about Gilbert Arenas' career. What careers, right? Let's talk about Kenyon Martin real briefly. Now, I told you guys, I was a New Jersey Nets fan in the early 2000s, man. Jason Kidd is one of my favorite players of all time. So when Jason Kidd came to New Jersey Nets, it's local to me. I told you I went to a bunch of these games, man. It was cheap as hell to go to the Izod Center, man. Cheap as hell. Because the Nets weren't that good when Jason Kidd first got there. And then they became relevant. So I followed the New Jersey Nets heavily. I told you guys about Richard Jefferson the other day. I followed these guys heavily. Kerry Kittles, Lucius Harris, right? Jason Collins, Aaron Williams, the A-Train, right? Dikembe Mutombo was there for a year when he was at the end there. But you had guys on the team. So I knew a lot of these guys. Brian Scalabrine, I believe, was on the team. Todd McCullough was a guy on the team. So you had some dudes on there, on that team. What was the other guy's name, man? I'm trying to think of some of these dudes that played for that team every now for some of those years that was there. And then we all know, like, Vince Carter came in later on. But anyway, I followed Kenyon Martin, man, in the New Jersey Nets, right? Those first several years, Kenyon Martin was there, and then he went to the Denver Nuggets, I believe, some years later. But Kenyon Martin was on that team. In 2003, the New Jersey Nets went to back-to-back NBA Finals. They went to 2002, 2003. Jason Kidd leading this team, right? Carrying bums, right? Jason Kidd carrying bums in the finals. No one ever talks about Jason Kidd that way. No one ever celebrates Jason Kidd for taking that New Jersey Nets team to back-to-back finals when the Eastern Conference was still stout. He had to go against those Detroit Pistons guys. They were battling against those Detroit Pistons with Chauncey Billups and Ben Wallace and Rip Hamilton. There were some battles there. He was battling against Paul Pierce, Antoine Walker's Boston Celtics. There were some battles there, all right? They were battling against Allen Iverson and the Sixers. There were some teams there in the early 2000s. We talked about this, right? The Ray Allen, Glenn Robinson, Milwaukee Bucks, right? There were some teams. So anyway, Vince Carter's Raptors. But anyway, when we're talking about that team, I followed these guys. The 2003 NBA Finals, guys, when they played the San Antonio Spurs, that series was very, very close, guys. Jason Kidd was playing out of his mind. He was doing everything he could to keep the Nets competitive and relative because they had no business, like I said, competing when you think about the talent that the Spurs had versus the New Jersey Nets and what Jason Kidd was working with. He was really getting the most out of these guys. Richard Jefferson, Kenyon Martin, like I said, Jason Collins. Like, everyone was 10 times better with Jason Kidd, man. This dude was really doing it like that. And it came down to a pivotal game 4. And in game 4, the New Jersey Nets were winning, right? And in game 4, no, was it game 4 or game 5? I'm trying to remember. No, excuse me, game 5. It was tied 2 games apiece, guys, and it was a pivotal game 5. And the Nets were playing great. Jason Kidd was doing his thing. I mean, he was making some of these crazy shots and crazy plays, and he had the team galvanized. And Steven Jackson came through, man. Steven Jackson, I talked about this before. He made some big-time baskets in that game, and they pulled out the victory to San Antonio Spurs. They won 3-2. But in game 6, guys, the Nets were winning that game. They were winning the game in the fourth quarter. Start of the fourth quarter, the Nets were winning, all right? They ended up losing by 11 points, guys. I believe it was 88-77. And Tim Duncan had one of the greatest NBA Finals performances of his career. I mean, the man averaged almost a quadruple-double with blocks. I think he averaged like 20-some points, like 15 rebounds, and like 5.5 blocks. I think in that game 6, he had a triple-double almost with blocks. He was sensational, Tim Duncan, right? I think he had like 9 blocks or something like that in the game 6. But anyway, Kenyon Martin, right, in that game 6, let Jason Kidd by himself out there. Did nothing out there, Kenyon Martin. Where the hell were you? You over here talking about LeBron James. You have all this energy for all this other stuff. Where the hell were you? Kenyon Martin, in that game 6, guys, in the 2003 NBA Finals, not helping Jason Kidd at all. The Nets were outscored. What was it? I'm trying to remember. They are 31-14 in the fourth quarter, guys, and they lost by 11. They win that game to tie it up 3 games apiece. In the fourth quarter, in the game, Kenyon Martin went 3 for 23. 3 for 23. 0 offensive rebounds for Kenyon Martin. So you bricked up all those shots, and you ain't getting no offensive rebounds, dude? 3 for 23 he went. Kenyon Martin alongside Jason Kidd. You did nothing for Jason Kidd. You left Jason Kidd out there. And now you want to sit out here and talk about the assists of LeBron James. And LeBron James is going to become number 2 all-time in assists. So he's going to pass Jason Kidd in assists to become number 2 all-time. You better put some respect on Jason Kidd's name. And you better start putting yourself out there. So talking about your career and what you did. Because you ain't do a damn thing, Kenyon Martin. These guys, once again, I'm not saying I play in the NBA. I'm not talking about compared to me. I'm talking about what you did in the NBA and compared to your contemporaries. And where the hell were you in Game 6? You were nowhere. You did nothing that series. You were nowhere. You were being carried by Jason Kidd. That's the only time you were relevant in your entire career. And you did nothing after. You went to Denver Nuggets, and yeah, you had some couple of decent seasons, but you know nothing after that. You did nothing, dude. Nothing. You went 3 for 23 in the game. Scored 0 points in the fourth quarter. He scored 6 points for the entire game, guys. 6 points for the entire game. And the Nets lost that Game 6. Where the hell was Kenyon Martin? What a clown, man. These guys out here talking about LeBron James. You guys know what they did. These are the facts, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.